Man.
Running faster than a case of the clap in a trailer court. Able to shatter eardrums within a 666-mile radius. A podcast more brutal than all the rest. It's Murder Metal
Fuck yeah! Yeah, you're enjoying all the horror and the ghost stories and everything?
Oh yeah. Appreciate you guys coming out. As Sue said about 5 minutes ago that we are Murder Metal Mayhem. I'm Pete Altieri.
I'm Chris Schaubeck. How's everybody doing?
And for those of you out there that don't know what we do, we've been kind of dubbed
The Beavis and Butthead of podcasts.
Yeah, like
That's what we do.
Beavis and Butthead do serial killers is kind of what we've been described as by somebody that didn't like us very much. But we actually thought that was kind of cool. I mean, honestly.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah, we thought that was cool. But the person that said it was trying to be hurtful, and we thought it was funny. So we are definitely not very family friendly. So if you're expecting that, you might want to cover your ears.
Rated R, so be prepared.
That's right. So anyway, we appreciate you guys coming here, and thanks to Sue for putting this on. This is really cool.
Thank you, Sue.
Everybody that is up here before us, we appreciate everything. It was just really cool to hear some of the stories and the different, the filmmaker, the podcasters, the authors.
Kind of links into how we're doing anyway.
Yeah, when you guys said you were going to do 80s horror, I was like, fuck, shit, dude. That's kind of what we're doing, but we're doing it different, so that's good. But anyway, our podcast is a weekly podcast that we do, comes out every Thursday, so we had a new one come out today on H.P. Lovecraft and some different stuff. So if you
know
dig...
what H.P. Lovecraft is, check him out. Best horror author started the genre. He's fucking amazing, dude.
Yeah, we did the podcast featuring him, and then we do a murder segment. We typically do serial killers and crazy stuff like that. Metal, obviously, we're both into heavy metal, so we do like interviews with bands. And see, he's doing that Beavis and Butthead thing. He just can't resist it. No, we do serial killers. The very first podcast we did David Hendricks, so we thought we'd do a little hometown hero, chopping up his family with a fucking axe. And then the second podcast we did my hometown hero back from where I'm from in Connecticut.
Yes.
The guy that put his wife through the wood chipper, if you're not familiar with that. Very brutal. We dubbed that episode Wood Chipper Love. So
yeah, it's a good time.
It's some sick shit. So if you like that sort of thing, you definitely want to check out Murder Metal Mayhem. But we knew that Sue was doing this, horror theme, and we wanted to kind of keep in time with it. And we had recently done a podcast about real horror movie villains and monsters.
Yeah, how the horror movie villains got their inspiration, how the writers got their inspiration.
Right, yeah, we thought it would be cool to talk about that, because some of this stuff we learned quite a bit. That's the thing, in our Beavis and Butthead approach, we somehow
made it work.
We were able to learn things. So, I mean, I'm wondering if people could get college credit, honestly, for listening to the program.
Dude, I ain't going to college.
I don't know. I mean, it's very possible. But we talked about some of the famous, monsters. That's why when those guys said they were doing 80s horror, we were a little concerned.
Shit, what's happening?
Freddy Krueger.
You motherfuckers did a great job, though. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, that was very cool.
I actually heard about some movies that I hadn't heard about before.
Yeah, it was some obscure shit there. That's very cool. And we like to do obscure serial killers as well. But Freddy Krueger, everybody knows Freddy Krueger. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody out there knows where Wes Craven came up with Freddy Krueger, because you might think like there's like a real dude with the fucking
claw.
the gloves, you
Chase
know.
was last night though.
But we learned that in our research that Wes Craven apparently read articles in the LA Times.
Yeah, that fucking kid in Cambodia.
Well, yeah, these immigrants in Southeast Asia were afflicted with this weird, they would go to sleep and they would have these crazy nightmares and literally die in their sleep. It was pretty fucked up.
This sudden unexpected nocturnal death syndrome.
Yeah, I think that's a cool name for a band.
Great metal band.
Yeah, if I start doing another metal band, I think I'm going to call it Sudden Unexpected Nocturnal Death Syndrome, and challenge people to repeat that over and over again, like 10 times.
Oh, dude, that's a tongue twister for sure.
It is.
With the acronym.
But that's what it's called. I mean, legit. Like, there was, 100 people, they said, that died from that?
There was that one kid, like I said, from Cambodia. He would go home and he'd go to sleep, but he'd have these nightmares and wake up screaming, and his parents would freak out. And then he'd stop going to sleep one day, and he wouldn't sleep. And then
yeah, it was like 6 days or something.
6 days or whatever. Then one night he went to sleep. He died in his sleep.
Yeah, legit. Like, the dude died. So, you know, Wes Craven got the idea for the whole Freddy Krueger thing from
Sons.
Yeah, Sons.
Sons.
Right. So another one we talk about, or we talked about in that episode of Everybody Knows The Shining. Obviously, everybody knows The Shining. It's a good fucking movie, but Jack Torrance, that's a very fucked up character.
Yeah, he's pretty much Jack Nicholson's mind frame at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how they could have cast that any better than putting Jack Nicholson in there. I mean, seriously. But, you know, the thing about that character, which is interesting, is Stephen King was in a bar after he finished the book, met a friend there, talking about the new book and what it was about and stuff, and he explained, you know, this writer, and he's got this drinking problem, and gee,
who doesn't?
I wonder what the fuck I just did. He wrote a story about himself, minus the killing his family with an axe. But yeah, it was basically a character he wrote about himself without even realizing it. So it's kind of crazy there. We know that, you know, Stephen King had some issues with addiction, and obviously a writer. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So next time you watch that, kind of think, you know, it's...
I think it's actually Jack Nicholson being Jack Nicholson.
Right,
not
being Stephen King. Being Stephen King at the same time.
Yes, yes.
So that's Jack Torrance, and then, Chris, you had a good one with The Hills Have Eyes.
Has anybody seen The Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah, that's some fucked up shit.
Now, that shit, it's like this family, it was Sean Beanie's fucking family. Or Swanee Beanie, I can't remember offhand, it's Swanee. But
yeah, Swanee
they were
Beanie.
like the 1500s, they lived in this, his father was like a carpenter, no, he was a landscaper. And he didn't want anything to do with that, so they went and lived in these caves. And at nighttime, they would just come out and they would just rob people, kill them, and take them back and eat them. And he lived there with his like 7 daughters, 8 sons, and like 15 granddaughters and 17 granddaughters. And most of them were born out of incest.
It sounds like Hayworth.
No, it sounds like
I mean, that's where I live. It fucking sounds like some Hayworth shit there. Anybody here from Hayworth knows what I'm talking about. But yeah.
Central Illinois, shit. They would just literally grab these people up and take them out and kill them and eat them. And then as soon as the fucking body parts started washing up on the shore of the beach where the caves were, people started noticing.
Damn.
And that's how they got caught. It's so fucked up. So like, if you don't know about Sean Bean, check him out because it's fucked up.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a podcast about that because that sounds right up our fucking alley to do that. Moving on to Hannibal Lecter. Of course, everybody knows Hannibal Lecter. Great character, in my opinion, the best horror character ever. Just absolutely chilling. But we were reading about that the author, Thomas Harris, had gone to Mexico to do a story about an inmate in a prison for a magazine he was working for at the time, and he found out about this Dr. Alfred Trevino.
And was not there to talk about the
No, but this doctor was in the prison, and there was a big prison fight, and he saved an inmate who was like bleeding out on the floor. And so Thomas Harris heard about this, thought it was interesting, and then started talking to Dr.
wanted to find
Trevino.
out why he saved his life or whatever. And
Yeah, but then he found out something a little disturbing about the doctor. He was in prison for taking his lover and chopping him up and killing him and disposing of the body parts. And he wasn't a cannibal, but
he just got rid of the body, like not on a Richard Crafts level.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't doing the wood chipper thing, and we keep going back to the wood chipper, but that is a very unique way of killing somebody. But she was dead before he put her in the wood chipper, so at least he was merciful. But I remember working at a restaurant, a guy came in selling T-shirts that had a guy with his arm around a wood chipper, and it's a divorced Connecticut style. I am so fucking pissed off I didn't buy one of those shirts, man. I looked on eBay several times, I can't find one.
Right, no, that shit would have been great.
No, and then, you know, we all know who Ed Gein is, a serial killer. He influenced a whole slew of characters. Leatherface, Buffalo Bill.
Norman Bates.
Yeah, I mean, Ed Gein was really the inspiration of many, so.
He liked to wear a woman's suit. He wore meat suits before Lady Gaga.
Yeah, so Ed Gein definitely a messed up story, and so he inspired several serial killers, horror characters.
Right.
Anyway, we do this thing on a podcast that has really been a big hit, and we thought it would be cool to do it in front of a live audience.
Has
And what it is,
participation.
yeah, you guys get to participate. So you're not just gonna fucking sit there, okay? Now, it's called Killer Cage Match, okay? Here's the deal. You're gonna give us some numbers, 1 to 50. We're gonna do it in an orderly fashion, though. And 2 of the numbers will be the 2 killers that are up against each other. And we came up with 50 real gems here, okay? And then we've got 50 objects that they're gonna fight with.
Basically weapons that they gotta fight each other.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are fucking ridiculous, and some of them would be very useful if you were fighting somebody to death in a cage.
And some of them are like, why would I want to fight with you?
Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. So again, I need somebody to give me a number, 1 to 50. 22, I heard, all right? So that's H.H. Holmes.
H.H. Holmes?
All right.
Yeah,
Murder Castle guy up in Chicago, World's Fair. Killed like a couple hundred people. We got another number?
Chuck Norris? What the fuck?
Give me a number, 1 to 50. 10, I heard. And that's BTK, Buy, Torture, Kill. So we got H.H. Holmes versus BTK.
All right, we need 2 more numbers.
We need 2 more numbers for the objects. 13 is a chainsaw, that'd be cool. 41, let's see what that is, because we got some really good ones on here, man. 41 is a wiffle ball bat. I don't know how fucking useful that's going to be. So what do you think? So then we have to decide on the show who would win in this fucking battle. So what do you think, Chris?
How hard are they going to battle? Okay, we got H.H. Holmes and BTK.
With a chainsaw and a wiffle ball bat.
Alright. Look, H.H. Holmes was kind of like he was laid back, and he had his castle with gas pipes and the rooms
Right.
nowhere.
The BTK kind of up close and personal though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he might shove the wiffle ball bat up his ass. I'm thinking,
He liked
he could do something pretty harsh.
He liked God too.
He did.
I mean, that's how he got caught, but
Right.
man, hey, anybody got any opinions on
Yeah,
that?
who's going to win that match? H.H. Holmes? BTK? I'm thinking, yeah. I mean, he's a little more physical of a killer than
He's
H.H.
gonna
Holmes.
tie you up and choke you out.
That's right. All right, well, that was cool.
H.H. Holmes is gonna you're gonna walk into his house and like walk into that room, there's a gas chamber. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, he's not hands-on like BTK was. So.
BTK.
All right, let's get some more numbers. Let's see. Who's got another one for you? 21. 20. I feel like I'm doing bingo up here.
I know, right? 21.
Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman. That's one brutal motherfucker there. I pity the motherfucker that's got to go up against him. What's the other number? 23. Joe Matheny, dude.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. If you don't know who Joe Matheny is, he's a cannibal from Baltimore that fed his victims to people off his food truck, his pulled pork. So
yeah, this dude would kill people.
And he was like 450 fucking pounds.
If you look up a picture of Joe Matheny, there's this one of him, he's massive.
Yeah, he makes me look like a fucking 3-year-old fucking kid.
And he would grind them up and feed them to people without them knowing it.
Right. All right, so we got those two up against each other, and we've got two objects now. We've got two more numbers.
What you got?
19.
37 and 19.
19 and 37. Let's see. Toenail clippers. That's not going to be very much use. What was the other one? 43? What, 30?
37.
37. A 5-gallon bucket of hot coals.
Woo!
So you got Joe Matheny.
Joe Matheny wins this fight because he cooked people and them hot coals are going to make him cook them.
That's true. I didn't even think of that, man. That's like too easy.
No, Joe Matheny wins this fight.
But Richard Kuklinski, though, man, he could beat up Richard Kuklinski?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. The Iceman is sick.
Iceman would take people and put them in a cave, naked as fuck, get pieces, straps of leather,
Oh, yeah.
and get them wet, and tie them up to this fucking chair. Yeah, that's what she said. They tie them up to a chair and let the leather dry. And as leather dries, if anybody doesn't know, when it dries, it shrinks. So it cut into them, and then all these rats come out of the cave and just start eating them. He would come back to a skeleton after the body got eaten. It was fucking insane. So, dude, that's a tough one, dude.
Yeah, because Richard Kuklinski, I don't know.
He's the ice. I'm going with the Iceman.
Yeah, I don't know. The Iceman's too nasty, I think,
No, he's
for
a
Joe
fucking
Matheny.
monster.
450 pounds, you're kind of slow.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking,
Iceman wins. Iceman wins.
All right. Anybody else have any feedback there? Do you think the Iceman's going to beat Joe Matheny in a steel cage? With the toenail clippers and the 5-gallon bucket of hot coals. All right, let's do one more.
At least, all right, go.
We'll do one more. We'll do one more. Two numbers. Come on, guys. One. All right. Ed Gein. Wow.
Nice.
Speak of the devil. 50. Oh boy.
50. All right. And Gein.
Al Capone. Wow. Ed Gein versus Al Capone.
I don't care what the numbers are for the weapons. Al Capone wins.
I don't know. Well, let's see. What about the numbers? You give me two more, guys.
43!
We already did 43. Man. I-26. No, what do you got?
7.
All right. We've got a foot-long vibrator. Okay. And then what's another number? 18? Oh man, I'm having to go back and forth.
Vibrator.
18, a wooden broom handle. So you got a fucking...
got the same fucking...
Yeah, I mean, you got the vibrator and the fucking wooden broom handle. I mean, that's... I don't know. That could get pretty fucking scary, man.
Capone's just gonna call his boys and take care of this motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, Ed Gein's kind of passive, you know. I mean, he was like digging up bodies. I don't think he could deal with Capone. Anybody think? What do you think? Capone's gonna win that one? Yeah. All right.
Hell yeah, dude.
So that's what we're talking about. We do that every week. We get the listeners pick numbers, and we do those. It's a lot of fun. So.
We have interviews with different members of metal bands or full metal band, heavy metal bands, because we listen to a lot of fucking metal.
Right.
But we talk about murder and the mayhem. We just have me and Pete and other random friends.
Oh yeah. We get really fucked up in the mayhem segment. We had a buddy of ours that told a story. It's pretty famous, called Couch Fucker. And it's about a friend of his that was staying at his house.
This guy was fucked.
Yeah. Okay, he's staying at this dude's living in a duplex with his grandmother, okay? And The grandmother's living on one floor and he's living on the other. He invites his friend who has nowhere to stay.
He's like, you could crash at my place.
Yeah, you could crash at my place is different than you could have sexual relations with the furniture.
Yeah.
So he wakes up in the middle of the night and he hears these noises and this dude is straight up fucking his couch.
He's literally between the cushions, like pecker in the cushion.
Right.
Going to town.
So this dude is, we're talking to him on the podcast and we're dying laughing even though I've heard this story 100 times.
Well, you can't not.
And I'm asking him questions like, do you let somebody finish? I mean, like, do you stop them in mid-stroke and say, stop that shit, get the fuck out of my house?
That's what I would.
That's what I would do. I mean, really? Or do you just like leave the room for a couple minutes, let him wrap it up, and then tell him to get the fuck out? You know, I don't know.
Wrap it up. What if you throw him around and be like, at least wrap it up?
Yeah, really.
Two couches, man.
Right. So those are the types of stories we tell on the Mayhem segment. That was like a 3-parter too, because Couchfucker did other stuff beyond that.
So bad.
Yeah. He had one of those big forks you use on a barbecue.
Fork stuck in his eye.
He got it stuck in his eye, was in the emergency room, and jerked off in the fucking bed.
Yeah, because the sheet
honestly,
felt so good.
I mean, I'm thinking that's the last fucking thing on my mind with a big fork sticking out of my fucking eye. Apparently Couchfucker did not agree. So that was a good one. So those are the types of stories we tell in the Mayhem segment. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff you can expect if you listen to us. And we
get a little fucking roaches.
When Sue first asked us to do this, I really didn't know what the hell to expect because we really didn't know what people would think. And when we first started this, it was kind of quiet and like, you know, like dinner theater style.
Now all y'all motherfuckers getting rowdy.
Yeah, you guys are getting a little drunk. It's getting a little bit easier, but I'm sitting back there going, oh my fucking God. Like, we're going to have to do killer cage match in this environment. It's going to be kind of strange. So we appreciate you guys putting up with us. Again, thanks to Sue and Sue Rovens for putting this thing together. Chris and everybody from the Nightshop, man, you guys are really cool for letting us do this. All the presenters before us, you guys all kicked ass.
And thank all you guys for coming out and checking out Sue's show. And
yeah, it's a good crowd.
Like, for real, thank you guys.
It's really cool.
Give yourselves a round of applause.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And after us, we got Troy Taylor, and make sure you guys stick around for that. That's going to be really cool. We've got a table back there with some merch if you want to pick up something. I also am an author myself. I've got a couple of my books back there.
He has some artwork back there right next to our stuff. Check out his artwork. It's amazing as shit.
Yeah, and these guys over here, everybody's got cool stuff. So
these guys out with
buy some merch.
Over here, get it.
Exactly. We got koozies back there, t-shirts, books, all sorts of stuff. So come over and check it out. And check out our podcast, murdermetalmayhem.com. Of course, you can listen to it on any of the podcast players that you like. So iTunes, Spotify, whatever, you can check it out. So
FM, whatever, it goes. It's all good.
Yeah. So as we like to say, spread it like a case of the clap in a trailer park.
No, like a
cold sore
swingers convention. Man.
Yeah, there you go. Shit. So thank you guys. We appreciate it very much.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Tablespoons of cinnamon and 2 or 3 egg whites, half a stick of everybody ever seen my balls that big and salty and round? If you ever need a quick pick me up, just stick my balls in your mouth. Oh, suck on my brutal salty balls. Stick them in your mouth and suck them. Suck on my brutal salty balls. They're packed full of vitamins and good for you. So suck on my balls. Of unsweetened chocolate and half a cup of brandy. Throw in a bag or two of sugar, just a pinch of vanilla. Grease up the cookie sheet, 'cause I hate it when my balls stick. Preheat the oven at 350 and give that spoon a lick. Everybody ever seen my balls that big and salty and round? If you ever need a quick pick me up, just stick my balls in your mouth. Oh, suck on my brutal salty balls. Put them in your mouth and suck them. Suck on my brutal salty balls. They're packed full of goodness, high on fiber. Suck my balls. Wait a minute. What's that smell? Smells like something's burning. Well, that don't confront me none. As long as I get my rent paid on Friday. Baby, you better get back in that kitchen, 'cause I got a sneaking suspicion